and welcome back to the PPL. My name is Davion. I am your host for this Week 6 preview. I hope you guys are excited to have me back. Onesie Bennett, thank you so much for filling in, even though you called me a bitch not once but twice. And I saw the comments. Onesie, they were liking you a little bit, man. They were gassing you up, bro. They said, I like this more than the other 5-minute weekly recap. I'm not here to go in depth, man. I'm here to give you previews. I'm here to give you excitement. If I don't get you hyped for a battle, what are you even here for? If you're not excited after you leave this video for 5 minutes, you just need 5 minutes of pure hype for what's to come. I'm not here to give you all the deadly recaps. Go watch the coaches team preview. Go watch the first 5 minutes of their match. Go watch something to get you hyped for it. Get you some analytical. I'm here to hype you up for the matchups. And that's my job. So we got 7 crazy matchups. elscizor taking on greyveee this week in week 6. I'm excited. Vancouver Titans looking to take on the Bull Rush of Dawn fans. A pair of teams that are really close in ranking, right? One is 3-2 in elscizor. The other one's 2-3. 8 teams make these playoffs. A win here could be detrimental to your playoff push. You need to win this game. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least, right? greyveee does have an Amherst. We love him Amherst. Has Goodra. We love Goodra. You had Ting Lu, you know what I'm saying? You know me and Ting Lu. We love my Ting Lu. But Roaring Moon and Corviknight could be really detrimental to this game. And Amherst does not do great against Corv, and there's no Terra to mitigate any of that. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. I think there's going to be some shenaniganery from an Enam, maybe some Calm Mind shenanigans. I think that would be something I would look into as an Enamorous lover myself. I think that might be the wave. But other than that, it's gonna look weird, right? On paper, you could see the matchups here, and there's no glaring weakness for either team. I really think we're in for a great matchup today. It's good drafts, really fun time, should be a blast. Next up on the list, we have drewby versus Addison. Addison making just a name for herself in this league, popping off, doing her thing. 4-1, 4-1. Going up against drewby this week. 3-2 drewby. Both of these teams are in the upper echelon of the playoff race, right? Addison did suffer her only loss in week 4, so she's looking to bounce back a little bit, string together a couple more wins to secure her spot in the playoffs and move on, right? drewby wants to stay in the playoff race. A loss here means 3-3. 3-3 means middle of the pack. Middle of the pack means you might not make it. You want to solidify yourself with a win here. Addison could live with a loss here, but doesn't want to take that loss. Of course not. So let's take a look at their rosters, right? We've seen what drewby could do, right? Ursaluna, Meowscarada, Zapdos. Those types of Pokemon are phenomenal in this matchup. But Addison is not sleeping. Dragapult, King Gambit by themselves are just terrifying with Gyarados. Ursaluna's gonna have a tough time trying to do things, right? Yes, okay, ground moves. Oh, man. But you have a Zapdos who just close combats you. Facade. Man, I have a Dragapult, right? Like, things are crazy, right? Things are so insane for this. You never know what you're going to bring, but drewby, dude's always cooking up heat. You guys know it. I know it. It should be a fun matchup. Just take a peek at this matchup on the screen. I don't think it's one-sided. I think it's going to come down to how do you play and what plays are you going to make? Do you want to maybe try to get some hazards up with Glimmora to not get a burn off so that you're not taking advantage of what Ursaluna does best, or you're still gonna have issues and just maybe give it more damage? I don't know, man. It's tough. You gotta play it by ear. You know what I'm saying? Play it by ear. Next up on the list, we got the numbnexus taking on Elliot. Funny enough, guys, these are one of the most important games for both of these players. They are at the bottom. They are the only 2 teams in the entire league with 1 win. A win here, though, could help them bounce back. Nexus snagged his first ever W in week 5. Ellie snagged the first ever W in week 4 of the season for both of them. Very good matchups. I really recommend going to watch those games. They were phenomenal, may I say. But I got to... It was great. It was a good time. Love the games that these 2 put together. Now they got to play each other, right? We got Lando T, Torn T, Rotom Wash, Hoopa Unbound for Ellie. That's a tough matchup for Nexus, but Nexus is not slow, right? He is coming with the heat. IV has been phenomenal. Typhlosion, Hisuian Typhlosion at 6 has been great. We've seen how he wants to use Overquill potentially with Slowking, and that I believe it's Chilling Reception is the name of the... No, I'm sorry. He used Thunderous to Rain Dance. I apologize. Chilling Reception would be Snow, Davion. That's what you're looking for. But I could see some crazy things popping off from this matchup, right? There's not very many things that want to switch into Iron Valiant, depending on how you want to play it as Ellie. So it's tough. Hydreigon's a good mon in this matchup too. Outside of exactly Iron Valiant, I think it does a lot of work. Helps a lot with Typhlosion switching. It's gonna be an uphill battle for Nexus. And I do want to also point out that it's the battle of the Typhlosions, Hisuian Typhlosion versus regular Typhlosion. thought that was hilarious. It should be a good matchup. The Shanghai Dragons and the Pittsburgh Pichus are going to be one for the ages. One of these teams is going to get their second win, and they're going to move up in the rankings, and it's going to help them tremendously, like absolutely tremendously. The next matchup we have going on here is QtheCostaRican versus Uzi Gunner. Now, Q is sitting at 2-3. Uzi is sitting at 2-3, which means one of these teams is guaranteed a loss here, which would mean they go to 2-4. The uphill battle. Both of these teams it is must-win territory, right? They both came off of losses. They're going to end their one-loss streak right here after both winning in week 4. They need to win this game. One of them needs to win. Let's take a look at the matchup, right? Let's look at their rosters. You can see them on your screen. I gotta scroll over to a few of them. Uzi's rocking Sneasler, Iron Treads, ET, Phone Home, Mesprit. I mean, Volk, you got some good mods. You got some hitters here, right? You have some things that are going to pop off and try to help you win this game. We do have Battle of the Moss, Volcarona versus IM. It's going to be an interesting matchup there. I've seen Grimmsnarl and Zoroark put in a lot of work. Also, not to mention Thundy T. Q just came off a rough L, right? He played Nexus. Nexus hadn't won a game yet this season. It's tough coming off that type of loss and then trying to bounce back and win a game next week. But I hope he can put that in the back of his mind because this matchup is huge. He's going to get to Uzi. Uzi has a lot of disguising stuff. Ditto and Zoroark is hilarious. And I mean, in Amherst T is nothing light. Sneedler's nothing light. These are going to be some hard matchups. If you had to put my money on it, I put it on Uzi this week, but Q's no sleeper. Let me tell y'all right now, Q is not a sleeper. Next up, we got the Shuckle King in West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Them Philadelphia Stunkies coming out to play drewby. Drewby is the coach of the New York Marauders, and I really like this matchup. I genuinely love this matchup. A Great Tusk, Goldango, Azu, Noivern versus the Sun. Great Tusk could be an insane bring. Moltres could be an insane bring this week. Drewby might not even bring the Sun. He has Cinderace, Wake, Brute Bonnet, Claude. Sun may not come this week. We may never see it. Sun, never heard of her, right? He's going to have a tough time dealing with Great Tusk. Great Tusk is such a good switch into Cinderace. The only thing it doesn't switch into well is Walking Wake, right? You have to hit it with Wake, but it's faster. So if Wake gets chipped, or it's not faster, I'm sorry. It could be faster in the Sun. You could see a Scarf here. It could be a lot of different things, right? So it's just tough to see what you could possibly go for that. That's what I definitely meant to say. So it could be a couple weird things here, a couple weird things there. You never know what you're going to see from this. And I probably wouldn't bring the Sun if I'm him, but I can understand why he would bring it still just because of how these mons will operate. But again, it's tough. Both teams are sitting at 2-3, right? This is another one of those matchups you have to win. And I know the 1-4 slot, they are licking their lips right now. Both Nexus and Ellie are looking at all the matchups this week and seeing that Q, Shuckle, Uzi, and Drewby, two of them have to lose. Two of them are going to lose, which means if you're Nexus, if you're Ellie, a good win here could move you up the chain, especially with differentials, right? Like without even playing, Nexus has a better differential than Drewby, and he has one more loss. He is just shy of Uzi, 6 from Shuckle. Like those are close. Build upon the win, you could potentially move up. So that's something else to think about when you're looking at these matchups. Next up, we got PokemonMD versus Mephisto this week. These are two people that love to duke it out. After a kind of slow start from AIM, started off the season 1-2, he's stringed together back-to-back W's, and after a strong start from Mephisto, he's 1-1 in those last couple matchups. So we could see AIM keep this momentum going, but Mephisto's no sleeper, right? Mephisto's a really, 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 really good team, right? We've seen what he's capable of. Chi-Yu, Iron Bundle, Donphan, it's a scary, scary roster. But the Wakers are no sleepers. Annihilate, Heatran, Dragonite, Samurai, Hisuian form. That's a tough matchup, right? Those are tough mons to deal with. If you're Mephisto, how are you going to deal with them? Because you have all these special breakers, but you have mons that actually can chew some hits. I mean, Heatran's no sleeper, right? I know Iron Bundle's going to murder it, but I mean, Chi-Yu might not, right? Dragonite resists a lot of stabs there outside of exactly Iron Bundle's ice moves. Then you have a Hisuian Electrode, which outspeeds, helps a lot with revenging potentially. You have Cresselia, who's just thick. You got a lot of good things going for this roster. So I could definitely see the Wakers playing upset and AIM getting a win over Mephisto here, which will move up the standings, right? They're 4-1, 3-2. It's going to help them a ton, right? AIM could solidify a playoff spot here. Mephisto obviously losing. Doesn't really want to lose here, right? Because wants to win. Needs to win. Wants to get those 1 seeds. Want to play one of those lower teams that are just sneaking into the playoffs. Once again, all the other 1-loss teams are still sitting there. There's 3 of them. So if he wants to solidify one of those top 2 seeds, definitely want to snag a win here against AIM. Last but not least, speaking of speaking of the one-loss teams, mountaih and jayvee will be playing this week. jayvee is sitting at a powerful 3-2. Mountaih is 4-1. So both these teams are looking pretty crisp. I think jayvee needs to win this game more than mountaih needs to win this game. Obviously, for standings purposes, for your own self, dropping down to 3-3 would be definitely crucial to your standings, because you could go as low as like 8, 9, 10, depending on because if you lose, Q could win, Shuckle could win, uLLSI could win, drewby could win. Any of those 14, any combination of those two teams. I mean, with combinations of like the Dawn fan winning, Envy and AIM winning, you could be as low as out of playoffs with 2 weeks left. You have to ride your high right now. You need to win this game to stay alive. Let's look at the drafts, right? With jayvee versus mountaih, we've seen mountaih string together so many wins in a row. Slowking Galar, Garchomp, Scizor for mountaih. This team is scary. We've seen what Kilowattrel can do. This team is terrifying, right, to deal with. But we have no slouch in jayvee. He has Gren, he has Bax, he has Serena. These are good Pokemon that can help you. Skeledirge at the end there, right? Really good Mons that you can work with. You're going to have to show out. You're going to have to bring all the stops, because mountaih is on a 4-game win streak. 4 in a row. He lost week 1, hasn't lost since. So you know that he's coming with the sauce. So what are you going to do to counter it? And that's kind of my mindset with it. I like what QtheCostaRican brings to the table this matchup. Getting up rocks could be really detrimental for you. Scizor, I believe, is Scizor, Kilowattrel are really your only defoggers. I do believe Kilowattrel gets it. I could be completely wrong in that scenario. I don't know what got lost defog. It hurts my head all the time. But the bigger thing here is, could the weather play a factor? Because if you're going to set up snow, does Bax Caliber now do something? Or are you going to be in a situation where Titan just goes ape? Who knows? But that's everything. These matchups are so crucial for playoff push. It's actually insane. A lot of teams that are at the same record are playing each other this week. And once they play, one of those teams going up, one of those teams going down, and we may see some people be mathematically eliminated from playoffs. You never know. We'll catch you guys next time. If you guys enjoyed this weekly preview, or did you want more energy? I don't know. I was just talking to talk about the matchups. I really like some of the matchups that we're bringing. If you let me sit down and actually analyze, I'm going to be here for 40 minutes. You don't want me here for 40 minutes. You only want me here for 15. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share a video with everybody you know, including your step brothers, uncles, cousins, brothers, dog, which I think, if a roundabout way, ends up being your dog. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget, this is Davion. Make sure you shout out all the people down in the description. Make sure you check out your coaches. And if you want some in-depth stuff, make sure you go watch their videos. They talk. They explain these things. You don't need me. I'm not here for in-depth. They're the in-depth people. They're playing. You can see their thinking. Get out of your head. It's okay. I love you all, though. Have a good one. Peace.